Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cleveland Sports 360 show. Joining us live on the phone right now, we have the pitching coach from the Joliet Slammers, Carmen Pignatiello, a former Major League Baseball pitcher who played for the Chicago Cubs. Carmen, can you hear us okay?
I can. How you doing, Larry? Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's my pleasure having you guys, man. Like your manager Bart was saying, I mean, this Frontier League baseball sounds very interesting, and I think a lot of people have to be made aware of the affordability and the fun of attending a Frontier League baseball game. So, Carmen, give us a little bit about your background. You came up through the Cubs organization, is that right?
I did. I was drafted out of high school in 2000 as a 20th round draft pick. Pitched at every level in the Cubs organization. Worked my way up in 07. The dream came true. I got called up to the big leagues in mid-August and finished the year out up with the big club. And you were a relief pitcher, right? Yeah, I was what you call a loogie, you know, one of those left-handed specialists.
Right. Yeah, I noticed you had you got a couple of strikeouts, and you made your. You didn't really stay in the big league too long. Tell us a little bit about what happened with that.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. That's a question I get all the time from a lot of people. You know, I was up for the last 2 months of the year in 07, and I only made 4 appearances, which kind of upset me. I really didn't get a chance to show what I could do at the big league level to finish out that year. And then coming into 08 spring training, you know, it was a spring training that pitchers dream of. I had 12 appearances out of the bullpen, and had 11 scoreless. I gave up 1 run, and I broke camp with the big club in 08. Made 2 appearances. My last appearance in the big leagues was not a good one. I came in Pittsburgh. It was their opening day, big crowd, and I threw 8 straight balls against 2 lefties. And Lou Piniella came out and took the ball out of my hand, and that was the last time I stepped on a big league diamond. Well, you know, working for Lou never was an easy thing, was it? Well, you know what? The one thing he didn't like was walks, and
right.
Especially when you're coming in trying to hold the lead and you're walking guys. You know, that's something you can't do at any level. It's just unacceptable as a pitcher. You got to be able to, you know, command the ball in the strike zone and get out, especially coming out of the bullpen. And I didn't do that, and it really affected me mentally, you know, for the rest of that 08 season. And I really didn't have a good year. They took me off the roster in the off season, and I had about a month in spring training in 09 with the Twins. And then I got released and finished, in 09 I finished my career in Schaumburg in the Northern League, which is an independent league as well. Right, and then you retired from playing. Yeah, I knew it was time. Me and my wife had our first child, and you know, you got to support your family, and it was time to move on. And then, you know, fortunately this opportunity came about to be the pitching coach here in Joliet, and I'm very glad that it did.
Carmen, Kenyon Johnson, you spoke about your last day on that mound and when Lou Piniella came out. What fans sometimes don't see is the back sides of the stories. What was that like when I'm quite sure you had to go in someone's office and they told you that, you know, you were going to be going either down to the minors or you were no longer on the team? What was that like?
You know, it was devastating, and I'll tell you, I mean, and I tell people this all the time, it was the most disappointed, embarrassed I've ever been on a baseball field as far as pitching. I wasn't myself that day. I was never a guy that walked guys, and I lost all confidence. And actually, I didn't even get called into the manager's office. We had an off day the following day in Pittsburgh, and the assistant GM, Randy Bush, you know, called my hotel room, and you know that's never a good thing. And he came up to my room and told me I was being sent down. And at that point, I thought I would get back to the big leagues, and I went down to AAA, and it was just the mental aspect of the game really affected my pitching, and it snowballed, you know, throughout the course of the year. And you know, that's all I can say. I mean, I know for a fact that it was more of the mental side rather than the physical side, and I didn't have a good year. And you know, there's always somebody behind you coming to take your job, and that's just the business side of baseball. And it just didn't work out for me. But, you know, the one thing I tell people is they can't take it away from me. I did pitch in the big leagues, and I think that's a huge accomplishment. That's a very huge accomplishment. It's just a small percentage of men that get to live out their dream and actually walk out onto a big league ball diamond. Ladies and gentlemen, on the phone all the way from Joliet, Illinois,
Carmen Pignatiello, pitching coach for the Joliet Slammers. We just went over a little bit of his background with the Chicago Cubs organization. Now, how long have you been with the Slammers now, Carmen?
Well, I was their pitching coach in the inaugural season last year, which was quite a ride for us. You know, being an expansion team and winning the championship. You know, it was a great first experience as being a coach, and I'm very fortunate to work for a manager like Bart. He's just a great human being. He respects the players. He treats them like human beings. You know, he cares about them as baseball players, but also as young men. And that's what I love about him. And we really clicked as a coaching staff. And you know, I think the team fed off how we were. We let them go about their business, go out and play the game the right way, play hard, have fun, and it really showed with us winning the championship.
Yeah, that's a big accomplishment for an expansion team. I mean, it's a 14-team league. People have to remember, if I'm not mistaken, there's 14 other teams and you know, 14 altogether. So you guys were better than 13 of them in your inaugural season. Now, how you guys doing so far this year in 2012?
Well, I mean, it's kind of been an up and down year for us so far. We started out the year 1-5, you know, not the start you're looking for, and then we kind of got on a little run. But since then, we've been playing 500 baseball. You know, one game up, one game down, 500. We just haven't really gotten the consistency day in and day out. And I think once we get there, you know, we'll get on a big run here and get back to where we need to be, which is on top of the division.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined live on the phone by the pitching coach for the Joliet Slammers, Carmen Pignatiello, all the way from Joliet, Illinois. Now, Carmen, how difficult is it for a pitching coach to get these guys that come into the Frontier League and maybe they think they're hot shots, they're going to come out and play some baseball? Give us a little bit about these kids that come up and they want to be a big league pitcher. How does that work out for them?
Well, you know, there's all different types of pitchers that we have. We have pitchers with affiliated experience all the way up to the AAA level, and we have guys that are just out of college. So there's a good mix of pitchers that we have on our staff. And personally, as a pitching coach, it's very difficult to give one-on-one attention to 12 different pitchers on a daily basis. So I lean heavily on the older guys who have affiliated ball experience, that have been through the grind of a long season, have faced veteran hitters that you know, take pitches that, you know, aren't the aggressive type hitters that we have here that'll swing at balls in the dirt and stuff like that. But as far as teaching these guys, I mean, it's like I said, the AAA guys, I kind of let them do their own thing because they kind of have a plan on what they need to do to be successful. The younger guys, it's more of the mental side of pitching and mechanical stuff as well. You know, as far as, you know, situational pitching, how to prepare for a start, how to prepare out of the bullpen. You know, there's a lot of things that I have to do with these guys, you know, so they can go out between the light lines and pitch at a high level and hopefully pitch at a level to where they can get out of here and sign with an affiliated team.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a difficult task, especially when there's only one of you and 12 of these other guys. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Carmen Pignatiello from the Joliet Slammers, the Frontier Baseball League. Now, Carmen, do they have a designated hitter in these leagues, or does the pitcher actually have to hit?
No, it's DH throughout, so there's no break in the lineup for the pitchers, unfortunately. You know, sometimes I wish we played National League rules, but that's just not the case. They want to get that extra hitter in there, you know, more excitement for the fans.
Absolutely.
Everything's about the home run ball these days, you know?
Absolutely, yeah, that definitely brings the excitement in.
Now, one thing, the huge steroid era in baseball, does your league have steroid testing?
Yes, it's all random throughout the course of the year. I think they take 2 guys at a time. Like I said, it's random, so nobody knows when it's going to happen, what time of the year it's going to happen. So I think that's a good thing. You know, 'cause I don't think steroids have a part in the game.
Well, as you probably are already aware of, the decision came out in the Roger Clemens perjury trial this afternoon, and they found him not guilty. Can you believe that one, Carmen?
Well, I have to, because that's what they came up with, right?
That's a good answer.
He had a great career, and you know what? He went out there and competed every day, and he was one of the best pitchers in the game for a long time, and you can't take that away from him.
No, you can't.
You know, I'm kind of just happy that it's over with. You know, it's been in the news for the past 5 years, and now we're past it and we can move on.
I think it was a huge waste of the American taxpayers' money that that they would drag a guy like Roger through the mud like this. But Carmen, tell us a little bit about your pitchers. What's the average age of one of your starters?
I mean, as a pitching staff as a whole, I believe our youngest pitcher is 22 years old, and our oldest is 27. So they range from there. Like I said, there's guys out of college; those are the younger guys, and then the guys with the affiliated experience are the older, more experienced guys.
Now, do you do the same thing as Major League Baseball? You have your starters, you have your setup man, and then you have your closer?
Yes, we do, and I'm a big believer in making sure that each reliever knows what their role is, because I think it's very important for them to be able to watch the game closely and understand when their name can be called to go into the game. I want them to be prepared as possible, because I've pitched in every role. I've started. I was a long man, a short man, and even a closer throughout the minor leagues. And the hardest thing to do was to pitch when you didn't think you were going to.
Absolutely.
And if you're not prepared to pitch, you're probably not going to go out there and have a good outing. So Bart and I really make sure, one, to give them ample time to warm up, but two, put the guys into situations where they are supposed to be, and I think that breeds success.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on the phone joining us live from Joliet, Illinois is Carmen Pignatiello, pitching coach for the Joliet Slammers in the Frontier Baseball League. Now, give me a little bit of insight there, Carmen. Being a pitching coach, and a lot of people don't understand, you have your starters, you have your middle relievers, you have your setup guys, and I had a Vinny Pistano on my show one time, and I said, Vinny, why aren't you a starter? His simple answer to me was, I don't have that many pitches. Give us a little, give us a little breakdown on how does this exactly work, man?
Well, I mean, as far as starting pitching goes, I mean, you look at your 5 best arms. I mean, in our league, you want your 5 best arms, besides the closer, to be your starters. And to be a good quality starting pitcher in this league, one, I mean, this is across the board in baseball from little league through the big leagues, is you got to have fastball command to both sides of the plate. And two, you got to be able to command, as a starter, 2 off-speed pitches, behind in the count, ahead in the count. You got to have confidence to be able to throw those off-speed pitches, in those certain counts to be successful. Your middle reliever guys, those are just your innings eaters, guys that can, have average stuff, but will compete and throw strikes. And then your late inning guys are the guys with more velocity. I mean, we have a 7th inning guy that's anywhere from 91 to 96 with his fastball. And then our closer is our most experienced pitcher. He's got 3 years at AAA level, Amalio Diaz. And does he have an overpowering fastball? No, but he has an above-average fastball, but he knows how to pitch, and he's not overwhelmed by any type of situation. So that's why we like him in that role with being our closer, because he's not going to be nervous when the game's on the line.
So with these guys that you have, I mean, basically it's the same as the major leagues. You bring in your closer when the game's on the line and you want to get a save. Does this guy make multiple appearances during the week? Absolutely.
I mean, if we have the lead 3 nights in a row, he's going to be in the game. Now, I'm not going to burn the kid and pitch him 5 nights in a row. That's just not fair to him. I want him to be able to go out there and be at his best. So there are times, if we got 4 save situations in a row, we're going to have to go to somebody else on that 4th day. Which we have some other guys on the back end of the bullpen that can do that. But yeah, I mean, we do the same stuff that they do at the big league level. I mean, our starters, we expect them to give us 6, 7 quality innings, and then we use our bullpen accordingly to whatever the game situation calls for.
Yeah, that's nice. I wish we had a guy that we could always depend on in Cleveland. Maybe you can send somebody over here. I think.
Oh, Perez isn't too bad.
No, Chris Perez is doing a great job. I'm a little disappointed with Tony Sipp, though, to tell you the truth.
Lefty, I mean, I think with him, I mean, he's got really good stuff. It might just be, I've seen him pitch quite a few times. It looks like just command maybe a little bit for him. Absolutely.
Maybe we can send him your way and you could work with him. I've been trying to get rid of him for 2 seasons now here in Cleveland. But tell us, you ever get a kid that can throw the ball like you can't believe, but he just doesn't have the control problem? Is it possible for a pitching coach like yourself to take a kid like this and work with him and get him to get something under control?
No, absolutely. You know, we had. I mean, the guy that we have, Daniel Corella. You know, he's got some affiliated ball experience. You know, his fastball ranges anywhere from 91 to 96. Is his command where it needs to be? No. So it's just some mechanical issues that we work on a daily basis, you know, to make him have a consistent release point, and that's all it is. I mean, like Bart said earlier when I was listening in, the stuff that the pitchers have at our level or in this league is no different than at the big league level, and I don't think people realize that. It's just the consistency on a daily basis of being able to command your fastball and 2 other pitches in the strike zone at any time. That's the difference, and that's what I strive for with all of our pitchers, is to have fastball command and command of an off-speed pitch that you can throw in any count. And if you do that, especially at this level, you're going to have great success. I mean, at the big league level, you got to be spot on with everything, because those guys, they hit mistakes like it's nobody's business. I've been there. But, you know, I mean, it's just something that we work on a daily basis with all of our pitchers is fastball command and you know, commanding the off-speed pitch. And you know, most guys at this level, obviously they're here for a reason, so they all have stuff to work on, which is a good thing as a pitching coach, because I'm not just out here babysitting and watching guys go about their business. We're actually working on things on a daily basis to get these guys obviously out of here to where they want to be in affiliated baseball.
Now let me run something by you, Carmen. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Carmen Pignatiello, the pitching coach for the Joliet Slammers, all the way from the Chicago area, joining us right before their game starts tonight. Let me run something by you, a little bit of unspoken rules in baseball. Like my brother was a catcher, and he was a damn good catcher, and he ripped up his knees. He couldn't go on out of high school, but even in high school, he was a damn good catcher. And his son is one hell of a good baseball pitcher, and he goes to Bowling Green State University right now. And the coaches kind of burnt him out in high school, and he didn't even want to try out for the Bowling Green State University baseball team. But that's besides the point. What I want to ask you about is, my brother as a catcher always had the fist in one finger down, which meant hit the batter with the pitch. Believe it or not.
I know all about that, Larry.
You guys don't have any of those signs or what?
You know, it is part of the game. It is an unwritten rule. But it has to be done at the right time. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
You got to protect your players, and it's just part of the game. And if it's done correctly, it should end the situation and be over with, and you move on. I'm not a big believer at going above the shoulders. You know, that you can end somebody's career. You can really hurt somebody there. But you know, if 3, 4, or 5 of our guys get hit, you know, it's just part of the game. And I don't think it's Bush, but you got to protect your hitters and show the other team, like, hey, you know what? Eye for an eye. I mean, that's just the way we go about things, but we do it in the right way. And I don't tolerate guys going at the head. That doesn't belong in the game. No,
I would not anticipate throwing at the head, but a little chin music never hurt anybody. You know, I don't know.
I think, you know, obviously I pitch at the big league level and I watch big league games all the time. There's just warnings being issued, I think, too early at the big league level. I mean, for pitchers to be successful, I mean, you have to make the hitters uncomfortable. And
absolutely.
What does that mean? You have to pitch inside,
right.
And that's inside off the plate. And I think it's kind of, pitchers have gotten away from that because they don't want to get that warning, because then if they let one go and hit somebody, they're going to be thrown out of the game. But I mean, I stress to our guys on a daily basis, all of your outs, or most of your outs, are going to be on the outer half of the plate. So you have to make the hitters conscious that you will come in there for strikes and you will come in off the plate to let them know that, hey, you can't get comfortable up there and you just can't be looking away, because if you don't show them that you can come inside, it's not going to be a good day for you, especially as a starting pitcher. You got to own early that I'm coming in, and I'm coming in hard, and I'm coming in with confidence, because I know I want outs on the outside part of the plate.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you get a chance to follow it or not, but the Cleveland Indians have to play the Cincinnati Reds again tonight. And Derek Lowe's getting the start, who Dusty Baker shot his mouth off a little bit last week and was saying that he was even anticipating that Derek Lowe was drinking during the ball game. So I would hate to be the first guy to go up for the Reds tonight with Derek Lowe.
Yeah, I was reading that article online earlier today. It's interesting. I don't know how it all started, or I guess somebody threw up and in against Lowe or something like that.
They try to brush Lowe off the plate because it was a National League ballpark, and Baker did tell his pitcher to throw at Derek Lowe.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that he did say that he told the pitcher to go in. I mean, hey, he's a hitter, and you know what? That's part of the game. And obviously, Lowe took offense to it, and we'll see what plays out tonight.
Yeah, I have it being taped at my house, so that after the show, I can definitely see the. I don't know if there'll be a bench clearing brawl. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you one more time: we have Carmen Pignatiello, ex-Major League player from the Chicago Cubs, left-handed pitcher who is now the pitching coach for the Joliet Slammers in the Chicago, Illinois area, the Frontier Baseball League. Carmen, if you had, we have a couple of minutes left with you. I know you got to get back out on the field and get your guys ready for the game against the team from Michigan. If you had just a minute or so to tell the fans why they should come out and see a Frontier League baseball team play, what would it be?
It's quality, crisp baseball, and I think that the biggest thing that I love about these guys in our clubhouse and the guys that we play against is these are guys that are chasing a dream, that are very hungry, that play the game very hard and passionately. And the quality of baseball is fantastic as well. They're going to see guys out there busting their butts, every pitch, every inning, every game. And then you get the stuff in between innings, just like in minor league baseball. You get the good ballpark food. The adults can come out and have a cold beer. It's very inexpensive to come out and watch a baseball game in good weather. And you're going to see good quality baseball, and you're going to see guys that are hungry to get out of here and, chase their dream to get to the big league level.
Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but what does a beer cost at Frontier League Baseball?
I would say no more than $3 would be my guess, but I would tell everybody to come out on a Thirsty Thursday because I think they're dollar drafts on Thirsty Thursdays.
It's $10 down at the stadium if you want a beer at an Indians game. So, hey, we're going to have to wrap it up. Really? I wish you guys the best. Yep, absolutely, $10, man. I wish you guys the best of luck on the rest of the season, and if you make it back to the big show, give me a call. I'd definitely like to have you guys back on the show and go out there tonight and let's get a win for the Slammers. What do you say, Carmen?
All right, Larry, I appreciate you having me on the show. You guys have a good evening.
You too.
Take care.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank Bart Zeller, the manager of the year in 2011 for the Joliet Slammers, the Frontier Baseball League's defending champions for 2012. They're off to a little bit of a slow start, but I think with guys like Carmen and Bart, they're going to turn things around. And we were joined by Carmen Pignatiello, the pitching coach for the Joliet Slammers. If you haven't checked out Frontier League Baseball yet, folks, right here on the west side of Cleveland in Avon, Ohio, we have the Lake Erie Crushers. You can definitely go out there, and it's family fun for less than what it would cost you to go out to the Longhorn Steakhouse, and it's great baseball. Once again, that's it for the Cleveland Sports 360 show. We'll see you next Monday. We're going to have the Dallas Diamonds, women's professional football, 6-time Super Bowl champions, joining us live right here on the Cleveland Sports 360 show. Don't turn that dial. Don't log off your computer. Coming up next, Unsportsmanlike Conduct with Kenyon Johnson, Christian Patterson, the beautiful Kenyon Huff, and something tells me they got a special guest coming from LeBron James's